Hello, my name is Adrian Lasala, and I'm delivering the Navigable Knowledge Map view of our content and your mastery of it pitch that I delivered at the Innovation Summit in 2013. So let's begin. Before you take a class, there's one question you're going to ask yourself, and that is, what am I going to learn? But you don't ask that question in a vacuum. You also want to know, where does this course fit in with the entire curriculum? How does it fit in with what I already know? And if I complete it, what will I be able to learn next? Well, why would this be hard? I say because of books. You see, we have a lot of information which we have to impart, and we've organized it into really big chunks the size of a book for training classes that are 5 days long or 3 days long. So in the CREO curriculum, for example, that's 29 instructor-led training courses which become 34 WBTs because there's a few that are WBT only. And if you want to figure out how to get through all this content on your own, you have to go through a 183-page curriculum guide. Windchill's a little simpler in that it's only 12 instructor-led training courses, but we know that the information can be arranged in many different ways. And so that explodes into 54 WBTs, which we'll come back to in just a moment. So let's take a look inside these books. So within them, we organize the information linearly. One subject builds on the next subject, builds on the next subject. But we know that information is much more complicated than that. And there's more than one way through it, and there's many different relationships in how it can be arranged and fit together. And that can vary from person to person about how they want to access it. In fact, we recognize that in the Windchill curriculum, and we have multiple different views sort of the same concept, where we rearrange it into a standard course, or an update course, or a role-based course, or just a collection of all topics around one capability called the capability course, and then finally, customers can even configure it on their own. So, all of this is constrained by books and also time. Why? Because these books are designed to be delivered in 3 days or 5 days, and the WBT then corresponds. But these are classroom constraints. Are they really e-learning constraints? Well, no. When you take a course online, that course can be taken in 5 minutes or 5 hours, however much time you want to spend on it. WBTs are unbound content, completely unconstrained by time. So I say, break our content out of books. So what do we put them into? Maps. Now, when I say maps, we already like maps. We have something called a curriculum map, which is kind of hard to find on the website, but it's available. And it lets you see how these courses fit together, right? And then within courses, there's something we used to have called a course map, which shows how the modules in that map are broken down over both time and, subject. And then within that, you could say that we really have a module map. We do lay out the subjects that are covered in that module, and you can see everything that fits together under, say, day 3 of creating whole shells and drafts, right? But that's what maps used to look like. Maps look like this now. Maps are something that you can zoom into and get additional detail as you go down into them. They are things you can pan. They are things that you can filter. They are things that allow you to choose more than one route through the map, and you can decide which is best for you. Well, the Khan Academy took that basic idea and they applied it to their course map. So this is a mathematics curriculum, but you can see here how all of the different things build upon each other and how you can zoom in and identify deeper levels within that, how you can even track what you've completed, the things that are starred, and what's recommended next, the things that are circled in green. And of course, from this map, you can also launch any of the individual courses that you want to, allowing you to jump into them and take the exercises or watch the videos that correspond with them. So, what would this look like for us? Well, I went ahead and mocked up an example. Here we are in Precision LMS, and if I click on the Knowledge Map tab, I'm taken to the entire PTC University constellation of products. We organize our information into product libraries though, so if I open up the product and category menu and select the Windchill PDM link, I zoom into that particular knowledge map. Now here, I can pan around and explore what other things there are. And I can also see, like we talked about filters, what I've completed, what I've already started, and things that are recommended to me. You'll notice that we've only zoomed in about halfway, so I could go deeper too. We can represent some other information on the side or in a different way by showing that I'm 30% of the way through visualization. I've got some suggested learning in that area and maybe some others, and that I've even recently viewed some specific courses if I want to get back to them. In addition, we talked about the idea of filtering these. So remember all those different windshield paths that we talked about through the same content? Well, what if they were represented as learning paths? And there are some for standard courses like light user, heavy user, implementation team. There's some for role-based courses like information viewers or managers or document editors. And there's even the configured ones from my organization. So I'm going to go ahead and click document editors and authors, and you can see that it's highlighted through the map where my path goes. Also on the left-hand side, we show how far along I am, what I've already completed in that path. Now, as I mentioned, I can zoom in further, so I'm going to do that to see a little bit more detail. I can pan around and see where I've been and where I'm going, and you can see also the highlight maintains through here too. Now, the other thing that we can do, of course, is have multiple paths through the same content. So actually in my company, I'm a technical writer, and I shouldn't have done document editors and authors, but rather the technical writer configured path. This is why I completed some of the visualization stuff already, is because I'm following that path through the content. You can see I'm 40% of the way done, and also which courses I've completed in that particular content. Now these are little micro courses, not our giant books, which we've been talking about up to now. You can even insert custom content into these paths by creating a separate custom course and then simply assigning the learning path to go through that course as part of the the valid route through it. And of course, from all of these, you can launch a course. In this case, I've just taken a capability course and taken one module out of it, and that's sort of the nodes within this entire map. All right, so what do we need to do to make this happen? Well, first, we need to make all of these little micro courses. Maybe it's done at the module level or the lesson level or the topic level. Content team's going to have to decide how small to make them and what the right breaking points are. But we make little small courses which we can then apply a taxonomy to. Now we've already got a pretty rich taxonomy for Creo. We've started one in a way with Windchill with the capability courses, which are broken into subject matter areas like document management or product structure management. And then finally we arrange them in a map to show the valid relationships between them and how they fit together, and define learning paths through that map. Now what does this do for us? Well, it improves the e-learning experience, right? It makes it easier to see where you've been, where you're going, where you could go based on what you already know, and allows you to track what you know. It differentiates our e-learning courses from our digital guides, an upcoming product which will basically be taking our ILT courses with a book online instead of a book at your desk. And then it provides consistent Learning Connector links as well. Today, if you're in Windchill and you follow a Learning Connector link, it takes you to the capability course. But what if you learn that particular topic originally in the heavy user course or the light user course? Well, it can be a little disorienting. And then finally, it reduces our publishing complexity. Yes, there's 12 ILTs, but we have to take those same pieces of content and rearrange them into those 54 WBTs, which we identified. And this makes it a lot easier, even saves us some storage space. So I say, eliminate books from e-learning, and instead, replace them with an e-learning knowledge map. And that is the pitch.